All right, it's not looking so good for the market actually. The Nifty is down about 40 odd points. The Sensex is down 170 points, and the pressure actually is coming in the broader markets for sure. The pocket that is on the top of the ladder as far as the losing end is concerned is IT. So Infosys, TCS, Tech Mahindra, Wipro all down anywhere between half to about 2 odd %. And then we have a couple of other heavyweights like SBI that are leading from the front on the downside. But M&M reported an operationally strong Q3 numbers. The revenues are up 40% year on year. Margins are up 130 basis points. Let's get to the bottom of what the outlook is for the business. It's been one of the strongest stocks in the auto space in the last 1 year. We have Dr. Anish Shah, who's the MD and CEO of M&M, who joins us now on the show. Anish, thanks a lot for joining in, and it's a pleasure having you on CNBC TV18. I wanted to first start with the auto segment because it's been a really strong showing that you've seen now in terms of your revenue market share in the SUV segment. It's 4 consecutive quarters of #1 player there. Can you tell us about what the long-term outlook is in terms of growth, particularly for the auto business? What's the sustainable growth that you see? And given that there's an influx of new launches coming in from several players this year, what's your strategy in terms of gaining more market share?
Sudhir, good morning. Glad to be here. You're right, we've seen great performance on the auto side, and going forward, we continue to see tremendous strength in the new launches that we've had over the past year or so. Both the XUV700 and the Scorpio N, after a very strong launch, continue to get bookings that are far in excess of our capacity. We have taken our capacity up about 55 to 60%. We will take it up another 40% in the next 12 months, effectively doubling the capacity in the auto business. A booking backlog today is 266,000 vehicles, and the wait times are much longer than what we'd like. But with the capacity increase, we should be able to get those wait times down. So in all, we feel very strong about where we are right now. The XUV400 has seen over 15,000 bookings already in a very short time period. And therefore, over the next couple of years, we continue to be very positive. The next big growth area for us is international, which we have not been able to focus on given the very strong demand in India. So that will add another kicker in terms of our auto business.
Anish, hi, good morning. Prashant here. Can the automotive segment margins climb up to 8% by next year, by FY24? That is one. On the tractor side, things have been a bit more subdued, haven't they? Margins have expanded, but much lower than what analysts were estimating. On the tractor side, has there been a bit of an issue in terms of passing on, input price hikes, etc., to end consumers?
So on the auto side, we've seen OPM go up 320 basis points. We made a commitment for a 300 basis point increase about a year ago. And we had said it would happen in the medium term. It's happened faster than we expected. We will see more upside in auto margins, both with regard to the operational leverage we will get from higher volumes, as well as what we are seeing on the commodity side right now. In farm, we've actually seen a very strong performance overall, not just in the industry, but our business as well, because we've grown market share 140 basis points. The industry today is at a fairly strong growth rate coming off 2 very strong years. And therefore, the contribution of the farm business to our profitability has been very high as well. On the margin side, you're right, it has been slightly lower than what we've seen on the auto side, but recognize that there's also an impact there from a rapid growth in farm machinery. And that's a segment where we're looking at a 10x growth in the next 5 years. So we will put in more investments there that will have some impact on margins as well. But overall, margins are still very strong, far higher than anyone else in the industry, and continuing to grow.
Okay, so you're saying 10x growth in the next 5 years. I did see that in your presentation as well. You spoke about how the industry can grow 10% in FY24. What is the outlook for M&M itself in terms of growth in the farm equipment business? And you're already at market share of around 41%. Do you plan to grow that further? Any targets there by the end of FY24?
So in terms of market share at 41%, it's important for us to maintain some sense of realism as well as pragmatism in the industry. So no targets for market share except for the fact that we will maintain it. But the bigger growth area for us, as I mentioned, is farm implements. which is where we will really look at a 10x growth. And there, our market share is a lot lower right now. And for us to just get to a 40% market share itself will give us much of the 10x growth.
Okay, in the auto segment, I just, I wanted your views on the changes that we're going to see in the auto sector post the RDE norms coming through. I mean, there is an expectation that there will be a further shift to petrol variants, diesels could take a back seat. Would you agree with this hypothesis? And if that does come through, then what do you think the impact would be on M&M?
So the cost increase for us is actually minimal. And we've talked about that earlier. We have seen others talk about higher cost increases, but for us, the work is done. It's really not much of a cost increase. These are vehicles with better emissions, so we actually expect diesel to pick up more as a result of that. But for us, it works both ways. We've got some of the best petrol engines in the industry. We've had many of our auto experts as well talk about that. So whether it's petrol or diesel, I think we're well positioned.
Anish, just to go back to the SUV segment, which you alluded to, you gave us numbers, right? You said 266,000 units is the order book there. At the end of the second quarter, that number was 260,000. And as of 1st of Feb, that's 266,000. So while it has grown, I mean, it's very, very marginal, right? Could you tell us, is it seasonal or something else, or is the pace of is the pace slowing down a little bit?
So a big reason for that is we increased capacity significantly. So in the last quarter, we've added capacity of about 55 to 60%, and that has helped us keep this in control. We've seen cancellations to the tune of 10 to 12%, which is normal in this case, especially given the long wait times. So on balance, we are glad it's not growing. We actually want to bring it down as we go forward, as we continue to add capacity. It's not healthy for us to have such long wait times. It's something that we feel for our customers there, and therefore we're trying to increase capacity as quickly as we can to bring down this order backlog.
Oh yeah, I mean, consumers would love that. As you said, Anish, just one point on semiconductors is what's the issue? Because when one looks at what's happening to prices, capacity utilization for some of these semiconductor makers, one gets a feeling that there's actually not a shortage but a glut in some markets. But are you actually getting this through the steady? I mean, has it normalized the semiconductor situation for Indian automakers, including Mahindra?
It's far better than what it was a year ago, so we're not seeing any major issues. But we do continue to see minor blips from time to time, where we are sometimes forced to manufacture 2,000 units less than what we'd like in a particular month. So the impact is far lower at this point, but it's not completely normal as yet.
Okay, well, getting the waiting period down by doubling your capacity, I think that's music to the ears of investors and consumers. I can't tell you. I must use this opportunity to tell you that on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, I get calls from people telling me that, can you please request the M&M management to speed up our delivery?
Plus one.
I know that it speaks a lot about the demand for your products, but it's really tough from the consumer's end. So glad to know that you're doubling the capacity there.
Yes, it's painful for us as well. So it's something we really want to be able to deliver quickly.
I'm sure if we get requests like that so frequently, I can just imagine what must be happening with you guys. But, the other big trigger that the street is looking at is the growth in the electric three-wheeler business. I mean, this time you saw the highest ever volumes there at 11,800 units. Just tell us, what is the growth plans with the electric three-wheeler business? Would you be raising capacity there as well? And what kind of volume growth would you be penciling in?
So we are increasing capacity. We will talk more about volume growth in the near future on that. But all I will say right now is we've added that to our growth gems, because it's a business that has a very aggressive plan. It's a business that will get to $1 billion of market cap. In 3 to 5 years, I would probably say it's going to be more in the 3-year time frame. And at this stage, all I'll say is stay tuned for this, more to come in the next few weeks.
So you're saying electric three-wheelers as a business will get to $1 billion market cap in the next 3 to 5 years overall for the industry?
This is our business. So M&M's last mile mobility, the three-wheeler business, we are targeting a $1 billion market cap in the next 3 to 5 years.
This is a slightly, I mean, zooming out a little bit, but this news, the news that The J&K has been sort of found to have a large lithium deposit. The inferred deposit is some 5.9 million tons, which would be about 5.5% of the identified reservoirs. Any thoughts on this? I mean, how significant could this be? I mean, this is, of course, as I said, slightly a longer-term question, but any thoughts?
This is very positive for India because we will look at indigenizing battery capacity, cell capacity in future, and having raw materials within our borders, I think is a very positive, especially with regard to lithium here. So I think it's a great find and something that augurs well for the auto industry in India.
All right. We'll leave it there, Anish. Thank you very much. Great chat as always, and good luck from all of us here at CNBC-TV18. Hope to speak with you soon again.
Thank you, Prashant and Sonia.
All right, thank you. Well, 40 points lower is what we have on the Nifty at this point in time.